The following program is a production of Yawawa Media in Niagara Falls, New York. The opinions expressed in the following show are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Yawawa Media or of our sponsors.
Well, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for episode 14. My name is John Restaino, and this is Citizens United, and it's an exciting day. We get to meet our new co-host, and we got a guest, and Robin's doing her co-producing stuff, so she'll jump in a little later when she's done doing that. And let's introduce our new co-host, Lisa Dorato. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, John. Thank you so much. I'm so honored for this opportunity. I have been following your show since you started, and I'm just so excited to be a part of what's happening here. We have a lot of good things that are going to be going on.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to have you too. This is going to be good, and you see what we're doing. You've watched. Well, you were in here. You were a guest, and you see what we're doing. You know, we're going to get into it tonight. There's a lot. I think me and you are kind of similar. I don't care about the especially locally, I guess. I don't care about them. I just don't. The people in City Hall,
how can you care?
Council, yeah.
That's a question.
Because I have let's introduce our guest. Our guest today, and you might know her, you might not. I bet you know her though. Mary Claire Arias, but we're going to call her MC. How you doing today, Mary?
I'm doing wonderful, John. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I can't believe I don't know you. We met each other, but I know our parents were so close.
Right, I know.
And it's amazing.
Isn't it?
I think it's the first time I don't remember. I don't. I mean, you had to be very young.
I met you, but you were very young at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Even Lisa, same thing. I don't know how I could have never known Lisa.
I'm sure that we have met, especially at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
I was at the bowling alley almost every day with my father and everybody.
Right.
So I would imagine
it's a small town.
It's a
yeah.
to be a part of what's happening here.
Yeah.
We have a
no, we're definitely going to be. No, it's going to be. Yay! It's going to be good. Let's start the show off with. We're going to go stay in the city for a little bit, okay?
Sounds good.
And then we're going to head on to presidential stuff for sure. But let's go to the city first. We had a peace-a-thon the other day, and it was on Friday. Jill Shaw, Peacemakers, Yawawa Media, and all that. We tried to do a peace-a-thon or a telethon, and it was all because our homicide problem here. We had our 14th, which topped 1985, where we had 8. That was our deadliest year. So now, because we have 14, we're tied with Birmingham, Alabama for number 6 in the country of the most deadliest cities. We are behind Detroit, Newark, New Orleans, Baltimore, and St. Louis, which obviously I hope we're not going to reach, but we got a lot of months left. I just want to get your MC, Lisa, what do you think? You're Niagara Falls people. I mean, is there any, what do you think? Why? I mean, why such an explosion of this?
Well, my opinion on that is Niagara Falls is going broke. And we all know this. So a lack of funds, and they're looking at cutting police. I mean, I have a family member that's Niagara Falls Police, and his frustrations are really real. Like, they don't have enough help out there, and it's just it's a scary time. But Niagara Falls is broke, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that they're facing.
Right. Lisa?
Where to begin? Let's see. There's days that I actually even think, and this is kind of crazy, would we be better off if the mafia was still here.
Uh.
I mean, it's almost like when the mafia dried up, all of the politicians started stealing from the people because the mobsters were paying off the politicians, so the politicians didn't really have to steal from the people.
Yeah.
So now, once that dried up from the mafia kickbacks, they had to start stealing from us.
Yeah, and then
And the city, and then the taxpayer, and how are you going to have funded programs to keep kids in activities, to keep them off the streets? There is absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
You know, when we were kids, we had,
Right,
we had the Festival Lights, we had the Hyde Park, we had
High Park, we had the big pool,
We stayed on-
we had
Yeah.
hoops going on here and there.
Yeah.
But you can't even have a park in
Yeah.
Niagara Falls without.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Nonsense.
obviously, as far as the homicides,
Yeah.
the police presence is not there because the money's not there. They're cutting police left and right.
Well-
so the criminals are going to know they're probably going to get away with it.
Well, and the other issue might be this war on police,
Yes.
which is going on across the United States,
Mm-hmm.
which to me is super scary. I'm not saying that every cop is perfect. I think the police fall with every other profession. There's bad
Right.
doctors, there's bad lawyers,
Yeah.
there's bad teachers. I mean, so of course, yes, there's bad artists. I mean, you could go on and on. There's bad beauticians, but to hold the actions of a few selected cops to the whole police force across the United States is truly an alarming trend, and it really is scary. I don't have the figures on the amount of police that have been killed across the United States, and within, and it goes back to
Right.
Obama. It started back then, and I think that's part of it.
Well, I was on Friday night. We had the Peace-a-thon, and like I said, Jill Shaw and Peacemakers. But we also had a couple families in there that had lost a loved one in this. Was one of the 14, and Mr.
What was that?
Mr.
Peter making jokes over there.
Yeah, that-
he liked
Yeah,
my my commentary about bringing the mafia back to
What?
Niagara Falls. Too bad it's not here.
I talked to Mr. and Mrs. Coleman. They lost their son, who was shot and killed, and it was tough. That was sad. I mean, I couldn't even imagine
No parent should have to lose their child,
No,
especially to murder.
That's not the way it works.
the way that I interacted with them. I never had that before, and both of them, first of all, said they had no problem with police. I mean, everyone in that room
Yeah.
wanted police. You know what I mean? No one in that
That's
room was
awesome.
thinking anything that. And so far, and I've even heard people. I think they said it that night. We don't have the same problems with our police like other places do.
Yeah.
So
That's comforting.
I mean, that was interesting.
Well, I think I think that the media sensationalizes.
I do too.
Which
Oh,
Yeah, I do too. I mean, because
know.
it definitely does. Because I don't believe what we're seeing is it's not the majority. It just isn't.
No,
it's not even close.
It's not even close to the majority. Exactly. I agree with that. But the media
Well,
is a huge problem.
well, yeah. Well,
Huge.
now, we'll go back. We're going to be getting into that
Okay.
really soon, of course. But now there's two. Well, we did the homicide story, but then I want to talk about our elected people, and I want to get this from MC and you, Lisa, because we didn't talk about it, Lisa, when you were a guest. For me, it's my statement all the time. There's here I know how to fix what's wrong in City Hall, and I got it.
I've been dying to hear this all day.
First of all, you got to remember they are the enemy. I'm sorry, but they're the enemy. They're the enemy.
Yeah.
They're the enemy of the people.
Yeah.
Are the people in there? Because who's in there just to get health care? Who's in there just to whatever they're in there for?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not for us. And the other enemy is the voters that keep electing them.
Yes.
So
That's the problem.
we reward failure over and over. So now here's what I do. If I'm going to vote in a election here, I will always and forever vote out every incumbent. I don't care what they, unless they did something we like.
Right,
but
right.
but chances
If
are
they're
they're
really good at being good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Chances are they're
You're
chances
successful. That's different.
right, and chances are we haven't. No one has been for 30 years that I can think of. There's been no success, and they're all failures. So now we're going to have 3 up now. I can't understand why anyone in their right mind would want the failure back again for another term. Now, Mr. Spanbauer, he gets a break because he's just starting. So we'll have to see. Right. But if come the end of the day, when it's his time, he's got to go. There's no way. It's got to be a revolving door, I think, until they realize who's the boss and that we've had enough. Right. Like, you just can't keep on electing. I said it before.
Somebody for their last name because they went to school with them.
I can't run. If I want, under my way of thinking, I wouldn't be allowed to. I would never run here because I don't deserve office because of my connections. I don't like it. I don't want anyone connected.
The name recognition.
Yeah, anymore. Mm-hmm. You don't want to have. That's why Watazics drive me nuts. The fact that there's a ex-mayor that pontificates on the radio is incredible. I mean, he's talking about good. So, they listen. That's the guy. Anyway, so
I remember. Wait now.
Yeah. So, and people listen to that, and I'm just saying, you gotta vote them out over and over and over.
It's 3 words. It's cronyism. It's uninformed, and it's people and voters not showing up.
I have a question, and I know the last election, I heard that the voter turnout was horrible. I don't know the exact stats on it, but I heard it was like 10% of the city even showed up to vote. And like I said, I don't know if that's true. It's only what I heard, but I knew that they don't have higher vote turnout in their elections, and that is part of the problem.
We have a lot of people chiming in, John, if you want.
Okay, yes. I don't want anyone
So,
connected.
Tara Truesdale Massaro says, amen, John. I have been saying that for years, and for decades, actually. Not years, decades. Chris Fortin, the police want safe streets as well. They want a safe community for their children and family, too. And we all agree. They are human beings, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
And, Bobby Smidella, nobody votes. You got that right. Found that
what
out in the
I'm
last
saying.
mayoral run.
Right. It's disgusting.
That was bad.
It really is, and I don't know what you could do to rile the voters or the citizens of Niagara Falls to get them to come in and vote. But I mean, what the city is falling apart.
Think about the garbage tax. Okay, now. Or the garbage fee. When that happens, it not only hurt. This is what kills me about the people that voted for it. It not only hurts the. Hold on one second, caller. If you're there, hold on. I'll get to you in 1 second. It not only hurts the homeowner, but it hurts the renter. Low income people they're paying it. The landlord isn't. Yeah, so I mean, you just it makes no sense. And here they come up for re-election, and what are we going to do about it? We reward, and you can't keep rewarding. And you know what? Some of the people we might like too, personally, there's nothing we can do about it.
No,
they just aren't good at maybe being in there. I don't know.
So what year did we graduate from high school? Do you know they don't even have the popularity contesting at the end of the year at high school anymore? Best looking and all that stuff. That now. Why are we doing it in our voter races? I don't understand. All right, it's very confusing.
Caller, you're on the air. Citizens United. Hello, you there? No, I think they.
Call back.
Yeah, call back. They left us.
Paula Friona says they need to be educated. Do they can vote accordingly? So they can vote accordingly. They complain, but they don't go out and vote.
They don't. That's
true story.
I
need to put my glasses on.
Apathy here is. But you know what? I don't. What's sad is how there's nothing to get excited about though either.
Correct.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I'll go to the mayor's election. The newspaper didn't cover it.
No.
The only thing the newspaper did, the reporter is an absolute joke.
Total joke.
The Niagara Gazette now, they didn't recover it at all.
Glorified flyer.
But they didn't even they didn't cover it, the Gazette.
On Tuesdays. I still subscribe. It comes in my mailbox.
So they don't cover it, and no one knows. Really, they don't even know what's happening.
No, they don't.
And what are you going to get excited over? I mean, you're going to get excited over the guy who's mayor now? No.
No.
You got Yeah, I loved Glenn. Glenn,
Yeah,
Shalokian.
you
He's
know,
a good guy. He's a
if
great
Jeffrey
guy.
wasn't in there, I would have backed Glenn. I would have.
Yeah, because he's honest.
In the streets. Yes, he's
Honest
a great
guy. He's good.
Yes,
And
I
then we
actually
had
ran into him the other day.
And then we had Mr. Elder, who was just out of no. Now I will say this, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It really
She was out of
out
nowhere.
of just boom, here he is, and he got a good and he got a real good response.
Yeah.
I thought he got a. I mean, it was,
He
should
grew up
try-
here,
he should
but he's
try
been
again
gone since he
next
was
time.
18. But you haven't heard the last of Mr. Elder. That's
Yeah.
for
he
sure.
could bring
should try
excitement.
again
You know what I
next
mean?
time.
I mean, especially with his qualifications, especially right now, we could use him more than ever. You know, he was a disaster preparedness management for our government, our federal government, and he wanted to bring that information to our city because this is his hometown that his mother and father still live in.
Right.
Right?
And
No,
his families and his friends.
I only wish he could have started earlier.
Me
If he
too.
would have started
Right,
earlier,
right.
we
That's
know that
so
we were-
true. If he would have been, you know,
Yeah.
It could have
there were
been-
some glitches.
right,
There were some glitches.
canvassing, yes,
it
no
could have been
doubt.
his. I mean, I really believe that the amount that he got out of nowhere
Yeah.
with no, and he didn't.
He
Unbelievable.
walked the streets door
Yeah.
to door every day for months. The soles on that man's shoes were worn to a nub.
Unbelievably with him, and I never understood this. He's from here. The credentials are incredible.
Yeah.
Knowing
Impressive, very
ridiculous, and with presidents and stuff. Why didn't we ever know about him? You'd have figured one of the
That's
newspapers
such
would
a
have had a
good
story
point.
about this
That's
guy.
good.
Well,
That's a
do you
good
know?
point.
It's crazy.
Because you do know that I worked on his campaign.
Yeah.
And we had a press conference at the garden in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And one photographer from the Gazette showed up. There was like about this big of a crease in the flyer.
Yeah.
In the flyer. I like that you call it a
It
flyer.
is. It's a glorified flag.
Yeah.
Well, now you have, and you knew the reporter was in the mayor's back pocket, so nothing was going to
Oh,
happen
God,
there.
Yeah. That Ken Hamilton.
Right.
Ooh, what a,
It was right in there,
Ooh.
and they will never. If you notice, there's the mayor now. There's the Watazics, both of them. The little bakery for some unknown reason. There's someone else. The sheriff right now. This guy who's running for DA. His last name's Seaman, and God, I might be forgetting someone else. I'm sorry that I forget them, but that's all they do. Oh, the North Tonawanda, because North Tonawanda spent $2,000 a month so they could get good coverage. So isn't that incredible?
yeah.
They spent $2,000 so they could only get good press. So we'll never say anything wrong about them. I mean, we are in a manufactured consent city. I mean, beyond belief. It's disgusting. So here's for more disgusting. It's a different, and I got to be careful, I guess. As long as I don't say a certain word, I won't get sued again. Nick D'Angelo, it's a case, and it was in the paper today. And it's been, now you guys know. Do you know about it? Do you guys know the case? MC, do you know?
No.
Okay, well, he is a lawyer here,
Okay.
Nick D'Angelo, and he was also social services, like a lawyer for them.
Okay, and he was the lawyer over at City Hall during the Deister administration.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, he was not. No,
Okay,
he wasn't. I got
okay.
that from Peter. He knows.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm familiar with them from running the group, but other than a lawyer, I don't know.
Okay, so there he is, and now he was all the way. You'd see him at every mayor's event, with just I don't know what he's doing. If the mayor stopped too soon, who knows where he could have ended up. So when you had the.
I can hear you laughing over
No, yeah.
there, Barb. Ohio Barb's laughing in the corner over that one.
So here's the deal, and I gotta tread lightly because I'm under something.
Yeah.
No,
Cease to desist.
no, actual case.
Oh.
I was sued. But anyways, I don't care. Whatever. Anyhow,
It's what it is.
he does. A lot of women are coming forward to that he has abused them, he has coerced them, and all that. Okay, that's about it. And kind of for it seems like for legal in trade with legal work.
Oh.
You see what I mean? That type of stuff. You can read it in the paper.
Isn't that extortion?
That's
Sexual favor? That's
stomach.
for
I don't know.
services, sexual favors. What is that called? That's extortion.
I don't
We're
think
gonna have to
it's
get a lawyer on the phone.
extortion.
Paul Cambry, if you're listening,
no.
call me and tell me what that's
Sexual
called.
extortion.
Now here's
Sexual
here's the rest. I'm going to say read the Gazette. It's a good article. It is a good article in the Gazette today all about it. So I'm not going to say another word because I won't. But I'm going to say this. in that article, there's one thing that I found. It was a good article. They talked why they are going to send the case to Erie County. It's being shifted because of his...
Of course, because of who he is.
Yeah, and his connection with the
Right,
with
correct,
Wetaskic.
correct.
So they're moving it to Erie County. John Flynn, DA there. Great. Then, what else did they say? Oh, they told it Wetaskic had a nice comment. They reached out to everyone's lawyer. No one wanted to comment. Someone from the Erie County DA commented. And then this is unbelievable. Tony Farina, for some reason, they asked him something, and he says, we don't think Nick is guilty of anything. What was the point of that guy being on there saying that? Think about it. They didn't come and ask any of the other or survivors.
Right.
Like, they didn't come and say, what's your thoughts? I mean, it's incredible
It's
to me.
probably because they want to follow a narrative and, to
Yeah.
get in the people's court, so to speak. And
Well, the reporter went straight at it not too long ago. They named the women's names.
Wow.
They
Nice.
did
Nice.
everything.
I think, we have some people chiming in on this.
Okay.
Noelle Del Zappo, right? Dude's so old, I'm surprised he can still even hear or read. But she also said... I lost what she... where's she? Wait, hold on. She mentioned something. I lost the thing here. But he's a total turd.
Yeah.
She said Nick made this public.
Oh, right.
when
He made it
used-
public. Yes.
Yeah, when
yes.
he used all our names in like 10 disgusting articles.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. I'm missing it out over here on my screen. It was there and then it was gone. Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, no, it's and I'm kind of really I'm so pissed off at this whole thing
Wow.
because
Wow.
in my mind, I don't care. Look, you be quiet and just be quiet. Don't say a word because whatever you're being alleged to have happened, be quiet.
Yeah.
And don't go after the victims. You're out of control doing that because you're absolutely telling people, don't come forward. We don't care what happened because we're gonna get you in the paper.
I'm taking it that Tony Farina wrote most of these articles because I have Farina hog chow.
Yeah,
Tony is a turd.
Yeah,
oh, that's so funny.
he's just a big reporter guy.
Wow,
I think
yeah.
Parlato wrote him himself,
Yeah,
most of
I
it.
ran into him over at the OTB during the Preakness the other
I don't
day.
know. I wish people would stop electing lawyers as politicians.
Good idea.
Ditto.
I really,
Yeah.
really, I will never. And I have respect for lawyers, but I don't
Right.
mean to stomp on your profession or anything, but I really think the last thing this city needs or this country needs is another lawyer calling the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yep. There's a reason why the words lawyer and liar rhyme.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell just happened. Anyways, I met a good lawyer though. There's a really good.
There
out
are
there.
some good.
There's a-
I
there's
don't,
a
like I
few.
said, I don't mean to trash on.
We've met two good lawyers.
Yeah, we got a couple good. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
There are some good
Brian Hutchinson's incredible. I have never mentioned him. He is great. Paul Barr is great.
Yeah,
These
Paul's a
guys
great guy.
are just
I
in it for the
went
right
to school
reasons.
With
Yeah.
Paul, I know him well. He is a very good
Yes,
guy.
yes.
They-
Paul has taken on my case
Wonderful.
Yeah,
when,
that's right.
Johnny
when no one
Wonderful.
else would
Yep.
take it, when everyone else said
Wonderful.
there wasn't enough money involved.
He's the perfect person
Yes.
Yeah.
for,
So-
for
Super
your
compassionate.
situation.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
great guy.
He is very.
So, here's what I
We're laughing at.
What's going-
Give it to me. So
What do you
we can-
got?
So we can show everybody what we're laughing at.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Looked over and noticed.
I think that's Brett's toy. Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. There you go. Yeah. Anyhow, that's Brett's toy. That's the Trump giving the finger. So
Kim Guthrie says he is guilty as can be.
yeah, it's just I guess my problem is I hate victim shaming, or I
So
hate
do
that
I.
whole thing.
And
Survivors.
it's so wrong.
Yeah.
In so many levels, it's
Yes.
just wrong.
It's like we have a bunch of people running around this country pretending to be victims, and then the real victims
That's
are being
another
shamed.
issue.
It is a disgrace.
Yep.
A total
Absolutely.
disgrace. A total disgrace.
Real quick, 716-804-1229. If you do call in, give me a second to get to you because sometimes we're in the middle of talking and you might be 10 or 15, 30 seconds behind me. So just hold, and then when you hear me say, Citizens United, you're on the air. So that's about it I have for local stuff.
We just had another comment.
Oh, go ahead.
From Chad.
Yeah,
Chad
I was just going to
Budnick.
read that. Yeah, go ahead.
Lawyers have so much going on behind the scenes. We will never know that at any moment they could call in favors, and you would never know because of attorney-client privileges, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Amen, Chad.
Yes.
And I gotta mention this, Mary Claire. You got a shout out from Tony D.
Oh,
yeah, Tony.
Oh, there he is,
Yeah.
Mary Claire.
There he is.
Tony D.
All right.
Ronnie
Love
D.
Tony.
And the wonderful
Yeah, me too.
family that they are.
So
Marquette University.
my father went to that one too.
City
I remember.
Marquette.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he went there. That's what I'm saying. He used to say that. Yeah. Yep, exactly. But anyway, now here, that's it for the city that I have. The only thing there's going to be a lot of new people running. There's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention them because they can mention it themselves when they want to say, but we know some of them.
Yeah.
And, I really hope people just had enough. You got to have had enough. You can't continue. You watch the failure. It drives me nuts.
John, real
Yeah.
quick, and I don't know if you might know this answer, but how long has these career politicians been involved in Niagara Falls politics? I know there's a few of them that are going on at least 30 years.
Well, my own family, that's there. There's a bunch of them. They don't stop, and it's been forever and ever and ever
And ever.
And they, and sadly, I think they still ride my father's coattails, who really gave all the goodwill, and everyone remembers the goodwill.
He was a very
And
good man.
so they do what they do, and there's a ton.
There is quite a few of them.
It doesn't, and that's what I always want to kind of. And this is terrible, but I say this all the time. Like, there's names. I'll just bring them up. Watazik, there's a name. Fossil, there's a name.
Virtuoso.
Another name. We got Anello, another name.
Maziarz.
Maziarz, another name.
Yes,
My name. What I want to do to those names is every time we see them on the ballot, you got to stomp them out. Because if you don't, they don't stop. Because what it means to them to win is not, it doesn't mean, it just means I still have it. I still got it. When you beat them.
I still can't be a liar and get away with it.
And when you beat them, though, they run away. They'll leave. If you just, for once, show them they are not in charge. And we never do. We'll continually vote in the Wataziks. We'll continually vote in the Fossils. We'll continually do all this.
That's such
And they think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, that's the only way to stop it.
And
is the only
I think some of them are doing it just so that when they go to lunch at the Como, everybody says, "Oh, Mr. Mayor, how are you today? Oh, Mr. Mayor, what can we do for you?"
power trip.
Yeah,
He's got to be the big shot.
Yep, absolutely.
That is way true, Robin. It is about a power trip, and
There's a lot of people that-
it's just sad. I really think term limits should exist across the board, whether it's state, local, national. You got these politicians who've been in for so many years. It's just a conflict of interest after a while.
Well, think about Mayor Deister. I mean, he was there for 16 years.
Oh,
how about O'Loughlin? How long was O'Loughlin?
But it's all because, I mean, they had no water in LaSalle, and they still voted him in. And
I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
People went out with 7 months. And over on Independence Avenue. Because my girlfriend's mother was on Independence. She didn't have water for, I think it was, 4 or 5 months.
Horrible.
But you know why
I didn't even know
But we
that.
all know why he wins, because if you have the, if you have the police and fire union, if you have, it's and everyone that's got his job, their whole family's going to vote for him.
Yeah.
And there's no insurgents. Like, there's no one.
I have often
fighting back.
said that I thought that, the fire department and the police department are the ones calling the shots in the votes.
Agreed.
Yep.
Definitely.
I reached out to a lot of
No
our
doubt.
friends, especially in the fire department, when I was working on Jeff's campaign, and I got a lot of back turns. I
Yes,
talked to
you
you.
did. I know you did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
That's
can.
okay. But I
they-
think they should just cut the police, and I think that needs to be separated from the city government.
Absolutely.
I
Well,
wish.
definitely the
Yeah,
fireman.
because otherwise it's going to keep going and going.
Well, 'cause
as
like
long
the-
as it's a school teachers
Well, like-
union too.
Well,
It's
like
the same
the
thing.
police and fire have two separate unions, right? Because you got one for the brass, one for the in the same. I mean, if this is what is incredible to me,
I gotta bite my lip.
and then we'll move on to something else. But think
Yes,
about it:
move on.
the public information officer was a job that was $42,000 a year, of course, benefits and all that, which we don't need. And it was put up for a vote right before we shut down, $42,000 a year, and they said, fine, here it goes. So they have it. $42,000 a year spent right
what?
before we shut down for someone to do Facebook, someone to do Instagram, someone
you
to
kidding
do
me?
Twitter, somebody to
They
do.
couldn't get their secretary to do that?
Well, no,
Well.
they could have done it themselves. I
Yeah.
mean,
She's
those
too
guys.
busy going out to lunch with them
They
all.
could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's what they did with that stupid Toastman Goats thing.
Yeah.
And then that thing got $48,000.
Well,
and
think-
the goat looks satanic. Do they still
Yeah.
have that thing?
No, he's gone.
Oh my!
He's in
that
jail.
Was scary.
Yeah.
That was.
I'm like, how do you even Toastman
But
Goats
the-
to recycle?
But then think of another one here. Now that's one. Number two is the city administrator. He is retired from the county, so he can only take so much money, right? So he can only take 35 grand. You know, it's sad. And so they had a $40,000 savings, and right away they turned around and spent it. So now the other thing is the city administrator does not live in the city,
that's wrong.
and
Chris Fortin chimed in and says it's called an intern, and he's right. You can get an intern
Right.
for free. How
Right.
about hire an
Great
intern
point,
instead of having
Chris.
to?
Yep.
Because it's all favors. That's where the
That's
cronyism
ridiculous.
comes
Yeah,
in.
it's always
Come on,
patron-
we all
patronage.
know.
John,
Come
where do
on.
we apply for that
We're not
job?
brand new here.
I want that job.
Right, yeah.
We're not brand new.
Another great comment in here. Tara Truesdale Massaro
I'm
said,
not
My girl,
surprised.
Tara, she's great,
smart
guys.
lady.
said the definition of an insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's Niagara
All
Falls.
right, Tara.
We
Yeah.
love you, Tara.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
we
She's on top of everything, and she lives down in Florida. She moved out of this
She's
Place.
out of this place.
Yeah. Well, it's
There you go, Pat.
so when you get that, and so there's no, I mean, they made up a story as to why he was grandfathered in. The city administrator, because he gets appointed in January. By June, he's got to move into the city. Well, June 1st comes around, and the council just throws their hands up in the air and they make up. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Stupid.
That is just so
and they let it go.
Yeah.
So there's no pushback. Our council is supposed to be a check on them, and they're not. And it's they're getting as close as they can to the mayor, certain people, because they think it'll get them reelected. It's got to stop. And if people don't recognize it, to vote them out. Well, I mean, sometimes you got to. They're like accomplices, sort of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're worried
absolutely.
about revealing what
perfect-
other people are
Absolutely.
doing because they're worried about what they're doing.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's going on federally as well. You know?
Well, we're going to get there now. Now let's go to the presidential race. Tonight we have a VP debate at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So that will be, I don't even know what to
forward to
call it. Yeah, I am, I guess. But
am.
let me read some polls to you guys that I know you're probably not, I know what polls are. So I went to Real Clear Politics. Got some states. Here they are. Here's what they gave me. They gave me Biden +5 in Florida. They gave me Ohio a tie. They gave me Wisconsin, Biden +6. North Carolina, Biden +4. PA, Biden +7. Arizona, Biden +8. Missouri, Trump +5. So that seems all close to me, though.
Yeah.
Like, kind of margin of error type stuff. I can't, Pennsylvania, I think, might be too high on that one.
I think
Yes.
I think the only city he's going to win in Pennsylvania is Philly.
Who wins Scranton
I
too
think
because he's from
no,
there.
I'm talking about
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah, Biden.
That's
yeah.
right near Philly,
He's
too.
only
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
win Philly. Outside of that, that's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Didn't he
going
leave
Trump.
Pennsylvania? I mean, he's constantly always like this good old boy. I'm the Scranton
Yeah.
kid. Did he leave there when he was like 8?
Right.
Yeah.
He goes to
how
Delaware.
How can you even say that that's really your hometown? Because this is really kind of not.
Nah, there's
He
just
didn't really.
No,
grow up there.
he uses that.
That's
Just-
exactly.
It's a political toy.
Oh, that speech yesterday at Gettysburg, I just about threw up.
Well, now we have. This is something I want to ask you guys about. President Trump cut off stimulus relief talks until after the election, and then He goes back and then says on Twitter, we can do something. But I want a clean bill, just $1,200 a check to everyone. I thought, first of all, cutting off stimulus relief talks was an odd thing to do during this time. Not because of, I'm talking about politically. Like, I thought that was a weird thing.
I thought it was a little weird myself.
You know, and I don't get why. Do you guys know? Why would he have, is it just because the fight back and forth is.
Right. I think my personal opinion on that is I think he was just fed up because how many times has Nancy Pelosi put a bill in front of him for it? It's been going on for months. And she packs it with stuff that has nothing to do with COVID.
Yep.
And it's been going on for months, and it's totally infuriating.
Yeah.
So I get his frustration. And I think he's an honest guy.
He came
so he comes right out there, click, 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 click.
Did you see what he came out with, what he tweeted today? It was on Facebook. He was like, this is it, Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
I will give you the $1,200 per person right now with no strings attached.
But
she can't do it.
But
She
here's
just won't do it. She's the one that is holding back the money and the stimulus from the American people.
Let me push back just a little bit to you guys.
Okay.
He knows that's not going to be done, so he says it knowing it's not going to happen.
Right.
So
Just like she draws up the bill, though, knowing and presents it like
and we're the pawns.
Yeah.
Right.
But then why? Here's my appeal to the president, and I am not. You know what? Here's what I'm going to tell you about me. I'm not voting for Biden. That's a guarantee. Can't stand him. He's the walking establishment. I can't deal with it.
He is the walking
So here's what I think, though. What I liked about President Trump right now was the name of our show, Lisa, is Citizens United. I never got to explain it the other day. Citizens United is because we unite citizens, but it's also about that court case, the Supreme Court case, Citizens United, which I hate, which allowed all this big money to come in. Yeah. It let big unions, big corporations, and all that. Terrible. It kills democracy. Right. Then after that, we get speechnow.org, another court case, which then allows dark money. Now we don't even have to tell you where the money's coming from. And we can have the Lincoln Project. We can have MoveOn.org. We can have all these things that can just do things in the name of a candidate, but not the candidate doesn't have to, you know how it is, doesn't have to say, I approve this message, and that money can come from anywhere.
It can come from anywhere, and it's no, you can't have that.
That's such a conflict of interest.
A total conflict of interest.
And this is why Trump interests me, because he had, I remember, I don't know what it's like now, but his top donors were like Dana White, Vince McMahon, a guy who makes boxes for manufacturing. There was one pharmaceutical company, but I looked into that one because I hate pharmaceutical companies, and it was a energy drink thing, and I think it was aligned with the UFC type thing.
Oh, okay.
And there, of course, there's going to be because he's a developer and all that. So of course, I know he's going to have that. He's going to have a lot of real estate people and all that stuff. But what I didn't see in there was, like I say, pharmaceutical companies, healthcare companies, credit cards, all that stuff. So that kind of. That's why I didn't understand why a lot of the liberal types or that are like me with the Citizens United. I know they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of what it should have just been like, oh my God, this here. I mean, it's what some other Democrats have tried, and some of them have done it, but they will never be allowed to run because that party will stop them. Correct. I'm talking about Sanders. They're not going to let him run because they stop him. They don't care. They don't care what I'm just saying. It doesn't matter. Even whatever you think about him, they stopped him. I mean, think about how they're ruining democracy, the Democrats.
Yeah, he scares me.
Well, look at what that proved with President Trump. Him not having connections to the pharmaceutical companies. Look at the way there was a problem with prices of insulin. There was problems with prices of EpiPen, things that were life-saving things for people. He didn't put it off or say, oh, gee, we can't do it for this and that because I've got the pharmaceutical companies in my back pocket. Right. He stepped forward and he found a solution and he saved people's lives.
No doubt.
I take insulin, and the difference in my insulin price from before to what I pay now since he's done that, saves a huge amount of money for us.
Awesome. I'm
You
so
know,
happy
I'm
for
so
you
happy
and all
that
the
there's
others.
actually a person out there that, you know, I've had a few people on Facebook that have come out and said this, but they keep saying, what has he done for our medical? What has he done? It's like he's doing what he can right at this moment.
Well, I
really think that if he gets in.
Well, just bringing
Again?
back pharmaceutical manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's
to
a big
the
deal.
United
We don't have to
States.
go-
That's a big deal.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and he's doing that.
Yeah.
And then there was a big controversy because he went with the Kodak
Right.
industry. So they were like, you know, why do you go with Kodak? And I'm like, well, what's he going to do? Go with the pharmaceutical companies who
Right.
have been part of the problem?
Yeah.
So he went off the grid, went with Kodak because they're not an establishment
Yeah.
pharmaceutical company.
What I want to, and this is just my opinion, I know people won't like it. I can't stand when people say vote all red or vote all blue.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Because-
party politics are killing this country.
Killing,
Yes.
killing.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote. I mean, I'm just saying Obamacare ended up being a disaster, and they told me, the Republican establishment, they were going to repeal and replace. They have not replaced anything. They've had 12 years to have a plan. They don't, and they don't want to have a plan because of what we were just talking about with the pharmaceutical companies, healthcare. They're all they're all bought and paid for, so they're not going to have a plan, and there never will be a plan for healthcare. I don't believe, because how would the president can't get it? They won't do it. They'll push back on him so hard if he goes after their, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Their money.
Well, the insurance companies, we could go back. You know, the insurance companies are the thing that screwed the money to your house, and then the insurance kept rolling and rolling and rolling. So insurance has come out, and they made the prices keep going up and up and up. So now here comes Obamacare, and they tell me it's health care, and it's not. It's another insurance.
Yeah, I had thought it was
So
a gift.
you
It was a
fix
gift to the
healthcare
insurance
with
companies.
The exact problem that ruined it to start
Start
from.
with. Yeah. Well, like
Are
what
you
Tara
kidding
said.
me?
It's definition of insanity.
He gave them
Definition of insanity.
They gave them the healthcare must have had parties because they were given about 30 million people handed over to them. You know, the uninsured, whatever. I mean, it wasn't like it was going to be done a different way. He just gave it. I mean, they had to be happy. I mean, because they just gave it to them.
Right. Well, you know, John, I worked down at the Department of Social Services, and I was in the front window for a couple of years. That's all I could stomach down there. But anyway, there's always been insurance for the poor. It is called Medicaid. And what the biggest problem that I saw down there with Medicaid and the poor not getting it is because they didn't hand in their paperwork.
Yeah.
It is legit that simple. They didn't hand in, you know, they don't want to go down there. They don't want to hand it in, whatever. You know, so now one of the things that, and it made me laugh, that with Obamacare, you know, to get on Medicare, you don't have to send in anything.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, my problem was with Medicaid. New York State you're right, is set up, you know, but if this was my problem with Obamacare, not every state is set up like us.
No,
so
that's true.
different states, they don't even have it. So those people,
Really?
They have, but it's like defunded. It's like Kentucky was one of them. There's a bunch of states that just don't do like us. Okay. And so then you get the people that are really poor down there, and they're not going to get Medicaid because it won't work. So now Obamacare grabbed them and said, okay, go in the exchanges, go in there. And it was $300 a month. I mean, insane prices. And, you know, it was not right. I mean, it wasn't right. And the people that you wanted to insure couldn't get insured. How could they? I mean, it was only set up for New York and California, I felt like, because the other places just don't have Medicaid set up that way.
No.
And here's a great point from a viewer. Colleen Carey says President Trump got rid of the fine that Obama put in place for people who did not have health insurance. So these people in Kentucky and states like that where they don't have Medicaid are now having a choice between paying this huge fine or going out and paying money they don't have for crappy health insurance.
Exactly. And you know what? Honestly, I'm pretty positive that had to have been unconstitutional of him implementing that. And when
Oh,
he
yeah,
first
and
did
then
it,
he
I said,
exempted
somebody needs to go after this.
And then he exempted himself.
Yeah, he
And
exempted
then when you
himself,
say
yep.
that to people, I go, "Oh, Obamacare is so good. He exempted himself." And they go, oh, "He don't need the insurance." I'm like, "No joke. He did it so he don't have to pay the tax." Even the Supreme Court ruled that it was a tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's switch to another story because
Okay.
we end up rolling in it, and then I lose
Yeah.
track of time. I'm going to read this one off. I know you guys know it, Robin. You know all right. Let me just read my little clip here. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe declassified former CIA Director John Brennan's handwritten notes. Brennan, this is just a skeleton. You guys will fill it in. Brennan briefed former President Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to make the Trump campaign appear to be with Russia as a means of distracting the public from her private email server scandal. Hillary Clinton approved of the proposal to vilify Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russian security service and to try and distract the public from Clinton's email server scandal. The plan was to connect Trump to Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. MC and Lisa, go ahead.
Ooh,
What do you think?
Shall we do it together,
Yeah.
MC?
Wow.
Ooh, something. Wait, what did the Rocky? I can smell something cooking or whatever you used to say. Something's burning. Something's on fire.
Right.
Okay, we all knew that this was going to come to a
Right,
head
right.
eventually. There's too many people involved
Right.
for somebody not to be a whistleblower. Somebody's conscience is going to catch up to them.
That's
And it's
what I
going to
kept
come
praying
out.
for.
My father always used to say, don't lie because the truth always comes
Yep.
out.
Well, remember election
This
night.
is gonna be a biggie.
Remember election night when she lost.
Yeah.
And she was quoted as saying, "You better, if he wins, we're all going to be hung in nooses. You better fix this
Yeah.
crap."
Yeah.
I won't say what she said. But, and that's why. I mean, the Clintons are...
Oh,
Well, let me.
That night, she didn't even have the courtesy to come
Let
out
me-
and talk to her supporters.
I
she
know.
had
It
her
was
handler
horrible.
come out to concede for her.
It was
disgusting.
horrible.
How can you want to even put somebody that's even associated with that woman in office?
I mean, the people put their heart and soul into
Yeah.
the campaigns
She
and the
didn't,
candidates,
no doubt.
and,
I'm
and
glad
she
you
didn't
brought
even
that up.
give them
I have
the respect of coming out.
Caller, you're on the air with Citizens United. Hello?
Hello?
You there? No, they're not here.
You have problems with the phones today?
I don't know. I'm hooked into the Bluetooth. I know I am. Anyway, all right. But here's what I think. Real quick, the Mueller. Well, let's forget the establishment people. All liberals, all conservatives, all those people that are usually a little more. They're not just pure party people. You know, usually the ones that are normal liberals, normal conservatives. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
The Mueller report admitted there wasn't anything. So
Correct.
we already knew there wasn't anything.
Correct.
And the media continued to ignore it and keep telling people there was something when we all knew there was nothing, and people kept telling me there was something. And I knew there was nothing. There was just nothing. I'm sorry.
Part of the reason for that, and I have a huge problem with this, the FBI, when Hillary Clinton, she deleted the 30,000 emails, she smashed phones, she bleached bit hard drives. The FBI comes out and says, well, she had a private server, she did all these things that were wrong, but she didn't intend.
Ah,
Yeah.
She didn't intend. And I'm like, wait a second, that is not how the law works. Like,
Yeah.
she's committed a crime.
You
know.
accidentally
So now
smashed
we
the
fast
servers?
forward.
Yeah.
Right. So now let's fast forward to this Trump thing. And then Mueller comes out and he goes, well, we didn't find
Right.
any crimes, but we believe he intended. So they let Hillary off because they believed she didn't intend, even though we all know that's a crock of crapola. But Trump, who they found no crime, that's opinion.
and $40
That's
million,
not fact.
$40 million of our money
Well,
Our money.
And the time.
Somebody
think
needs to be accountable for that right
It's
there. I'll tell you
horrible.
that
I've
one.
never seen anything like
Think
Okay.
about the time that was spent on that and people complaining that President Trump wasn't getting anything done because he couldn't because he was too busy filling out the
Well,
paperwork that was
Now-
being sent and being tied up with the things that
He
they
still
had
got-
him
he
doing.
Still got a lot done.
And he's still got more
Right,
done than
and
any
he's-
other president in their first term since
Right.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
With
and he
opposition.
still
With
got.
opposition.
all right. Now hold
But
on.
think of how much he would have gotten
Hold-
done had he been free.
Amen, Robin.
Hold on.
John wants to talk.
Hold on.
Hold on. Hold the phone, John.
Jesus, I don't even know. You're out of control over there. I don't know what's. All right.
We're getting Robin all fired up.
Yeah. I've actually lost my train of thought. I had something I was going to
wow.
say. All right. The Mueller report admitted there was no evidence. They keep on going. There's people on YouTube, the different it's media that's not connect. It's independent media.
Oh.
Right.
And they were people that are from Sanders supporters to people that you would consider to be like, libertarian types, or not even, like a Ben Shapiro type, whatever.
Right.
All of these people together as one, including those people I'm telling you that are Sanders types, said this was wrong. They all said this is wrong. This is disgust. You can't continue this. You can't continue this charade. It's wrong. You can't do it. There is no Russian collusion. That's it.
It
And
tore
they-
this country apart.
Apart.
Now, do you remember James Comey? And I'll never forget this. When it was during the election, when for some unknown reason, 4 days before the election, he decided to say that he was reopening Hillary's investigation.
Yes.
What
And I was
that
so
for?
happy.
Yeah, but I didn't even understand why he would. That was. But
I was so
Yeah,
happy.
but he didn't do nothing. You know what I mean?
Because of
Right.
the dossiers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they knew that they're and
I think
can't
he,
wait.
I think he was.
There's been an
afraid
awful
that-
lot of lying under oath going on.
Now I think nothing.
Some
How
perjury
many times
problems.
did he say I don't know the other day? What was
Yeah.
it, like
How many-
126 times he said I don't know, I don't
plead the
remember.
fifth or- yeah,
Right.
When he
I don't
wrote a
know that,
book.
yeah.
Now I don't think, and hear me out. Why? I believe nothing will happen to these people. I think.
I agree.
I think.
You know,
I think they didn't prosecute Bush and Cheney and Powell
Yep.
for mess. I mean, they lied to us about
Yes,
the
they
Iraq
did.
War.
Oh, God,
It
Bush
was,
yes.
deleted emails.
No.
Bush is the reason
And-
why I don't even like the Republican Party. He disillusioned me.
I mean, we got a 19-year war going on in Afghanistan. They went to Iraq for no reason, and a lot of people died. All that stuff, and they didn't do the right thing then, and they're not going to be able to do the right thing now. And they won't. They're going to run away with it. What's going to happen.
Well, here's
guys.
what I think. I think that if Trump wins again, they will be prosecuted.
I think. I think.
Oh, but
It's
Trump
gonna
has to
roll.
win. I think that's why we're seeing all this unrest. I think it's behind all this BS, all the rioting, the burning. If he gets in again, they're not going to be able to stop the ball from rolling.
MC, does anyone accept a win or a loss? I can't see after this election. No one's going to accept losing.
You're right.
I mean, this is going to be unbelievable.
It is. It's going to be really scary. I agree with that. I think there's going to be a fallout no matter who gets elected.
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
it's Biden or if it's Biden, the Trump people are gonna go crazy, and if it's Trump, forget it.
Yeah, it's
We're
gonna go
gonna
crazy.
see more. But they came out and admitted it.
Yes,
They said if Trump wins,
Hold my mind.
we're gonna keep burning down the United States of America. But I do think that if Trump wins, I do think he's going to take care of it
Yeah.
without their say so.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's going to definitely say.
But
"Domestic
I do-
terrorist group and bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm done
Yeah.
with this.
'Cause that's basically what it is.
It's over.
Yeah.
But if he wins, I do think that they'll be prosecuted, and I think that's why we're seeing everything that we're seeing.
Yes.
What do you
that
think-
we've been seeing since he's announcing
Yeah,
he's
because
running.
they don't want him to get to the truth.
They don't want him draining the swamp, Mayor.
Did you see during the debate? It was towards the end when Trump said there was no transfer of power because there wasn't.
Right.
We could all agree there
Yeah,
was
there
no
wasn't.
transfer of power.
No.
So he comes out and says it, and then he says, we got it all on tape. You did a coup. Watch
coup.
Biden's face. He legit goes white, his eyes grow crooked, and he's looking at him. And to me, his body language just
Says
said
it all.
guilt. Guilt, because he was like legit just looking at him like, oh my God, you have a tape? Like, you know, he didn't even know it. And I was just like, I mean, I've never seen, if anybody says this is politics as usual,
No, it's
you're
not.
crazy.
Yeah,
I've never seen this crap before in my life.
What do you guys think it's going to take to put America back to where we were pre all this stuff?
People's
I
pre-COVID?
mean, pre even
the division?
pre even Obama, I
Wow.
would say, because 2008 is where I believe it started, with the racism and the
Yeah.
the people hating him just because he was black, and then the Tea Party comes about, and then Trump comes, and then people are so against him. And I mean, there's families that don't eat holiday dinners together anymore. There's friends who have gone their separate ways because of all the politics. And to me, I mean, I can talk to somebody who believes whatever, and as long as they talk to me respectfully, I can
Well,
be fine with that.
Absolutely.
But that's not what's happening in the country. And
I
what do you
think-
guys think has to happen to bring it back?
Accountability, respect, and accountability, dignity,
Justice.
and integrity. It's about
You know,
it.
I don't think
Stop watching the media.
the people
Yeah.
that I know that did not like Obama, it wasn't because of the color of his
No.
skin.
Right.
It's policy.
It was because of his policy.
Policy.
And people were using the people who are racist.
Yes.
They were the ones saying to me, well, you don't like him because he's black. And I'm super offended by that.
Yeah.
Because I am not a racist. I do not think any race is superior than any other race. And by the way, the white man 400 years ago did not start slavery. Africa started slavery. They started selling their poor into slavery 400 years ago. And that's how the black man got into slavery. And not for anything, but since the dawn of time, since BC, the poor have been enslaved of every color, of every nation. It's an economic
Preach, sister, preach.
difference. It's not a skin color thing, and I'm truly, truly sick of it. I could throw up from it. I know plenty of black people who have had it way better than me, and still I don't have no white privilege. You have white privilege?
Not that I know of. I had to work my
I,
ass off.
I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to the difference being poverty
Right,
level
it's an economic
more.
thing.
Yeah.
The poor have been enslaved since BC.
And I
All right,
think
wait.
that beyond slavery, I think that comes down to all
Education.
problems. Yeah, to poor education,
Right.
to
Yeah.
poor health care.
You can't tell me though. You can't. You guys can't. All three of you can't tell me though.
I'm gonna
In
tell you
2008 and all that, I ran into so many people that said, and I'm not going to say it, how did we elect a blank? And
Wait a
people-
second. They were people in our age group, were
That's
they?
horrible.
Yeah, they were.
Really?
Definitely they were, yeah.
Oh, I
I'll
can
tell
see,
you who
like,
they
the
are
old,
after.
Old people.
No, I'll tell
but-
you after the show who they were.
That's
I
horrible.
remember.
You know, I'll tell you this, John.
Some
My
older people,
son,
but-
you know, when Obama was elected the second time,
Right.
my son was in high school, and he has friends of all colors.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. They're just all different
They're all
types of
kids.
people. And he says to me, he goes, you know what, Mom? We never saw our color. We never saw our differences until Obama. And I didn't say nothing to him. He offered it to me all
Right.
on his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, son? I'm really sorry for that.
It's
and,
true.
you know, Obama had a chance to unite this country.
He did.
And
Ooh,
he really blew it.
I thought he had one thing I thought he did, and this is the only thing I thought he did well, was that one speech he did on race. I thought that was a very good. I mean, if you want to say words, I mean that was a good. Did you guys listen?
Well,
to it? It was a good one.
Obama was great with words.
Yeah, I thought.
He was a
oh my
wordsmith.
God, he spoke.
But what
so-
would he have done-
He lied so eloquently.
What would he have done to cause their race problems? What did he do? Like, I don't even know, because I always thought he did harder, it appeared, to say, I remember him saying, I'm not the president of Black America, I'm the president of all America, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know.
He didn't do nothing for the Black communities. He didn't start like Trump's got that, what is it, the opposition there,
Right.
opportunity zones. He starts that, and Blacks are doing better than they ever have.
Right.
And why did it take Trump to label the KKK a terrorist group? Why didn't Obama do it?
Yeah.
And it's sad because
Biden did the speech, the eulogy at the leader's funeral.
Yeah, what's his
Oh,
name?
Bird.
Dan Bird.
Yeah.
He
Senator
did his
Bird.
eulogy.
Yeah.
Biden did his
Yeah.
eulogy.
Oh, I know
At his
Biden.
funeral.
Well,
Strom Thurmond.
Strom Thurmond, thank
the
you,
crime bill is the biggest disaster
Right,
ever.
in 94.
94,
right.
and
Yeah.
it's where we're at today is
It's
because of
because
it.
of that.
You know, because of
Absolutely. I don't recall, like, we didn't
All
have,
the-
I don't.
Well, think
through
about
the
it.
70s, the 80s.
Stop and frisk and building the huge prisons, and we got to pack them. All that stuff just was a disaster, and
Marijuana being a
yeah,
felony.
was putting and it's just
And Trump did the prison reform. Obama didn't do it. No. That would have been
Well,
a way to help his race.
well, you couldn't,
Even though we're all the same
but they could,
human
and you know
race.
why they couldn't do it? Because what we just talked about with Citizens United. I mean, like they can't bite back the money that they're getting. You know, they won't. That's why I would hope that more independents. Like, I like Tulsi Gabbard. I wish she'd run.
Well, that's why they threw her out, because
yeah.
she actually is kind of,
Well,
you know,
what
like she's kind of a conservative Democrat.
Well, you saw what she said to, you saw what she did to Kamala Harris, and I just think that I think that Tulsi could do can go either,
I agree.
both ways of anything, and what's good is good, what's bad is bad, and that's it.
They could have won a lot more people over with her. That's for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
I think she'd have won.
I think so
I
too.
agree too. I mean, I think and even now, I mean, she tells the Democrats where it's at, and and the Democrat leadership. I don't mean to say that about my fellow Democrat friends,
Right.
because you know it's the Democrat leadership that we have in Washington that is the problem right now. And let's take Michigan. Okay, we got, what's her name, Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah.
Upon election, she gets elected. The first thing she says is, we're going to impeach the MFer.
Yeah.
Meantime, Flint still doesn't have drinking water.
Right.
If you really care about your state, aren't you going to say, yes, we're going to get Flint some drinking water now?
Yeah.
Because
And
that's
do you
what's
remember
important to my
President
state.
Obama going there and drinking the water and saying
Yes.
it was safe
Yes.
for everybody to drink? My son will appreciate that I brought that up, because
And then
he
he
says
went
to
home
me
and
all the
sat on
time.
the toilet
Yeah.
for about 20 hours.
Like, you just came from Mexico.
I guess, and I know I got to wrap this up here because of course it's past 7, but I guess this is what I think about all of it. When I look at Nancy Pelosi or I look at Chuck Schumer, I see McConnell. I see,
I agree.
whoever the
Establishment
yeah, I see them,
politician.
and I think they're going to have a hell of a time. I don't care if I don't care who wins this presidency to indict or to do anything to the Clinton thing, because they did nothing to Bush and Cheney. I mean, I think that's going to be a problem. If it's got to go to the Supreme Court, I don't know what's going to happen.
I hope they all go. I hope Bush, Cheney,
Powell,
Rice, all of them. I hope they all.
you got to clean
We've
them up.
had 16 years of crap.
Yeah.
We did. We've had 16 years of crap. And my other personal opinion, everybody goes off what happened in the last 30 years. Well, you know what happened in the last 30 years? George Bush Sr., he started the dumbing down of America because they're globalists. And so is Clinton, so was his son, and so was Obama.
Yeah, unfortunate, and it killed places like us, of
Yes,
course.
no doubt.
That's why Nabisco,
doubt.
everyone's gone. All right. Of course, we run out of time. MC, you're great, and
Thank you.
I
It was
can't
fun.
wait for you to come back again.
I
I'm
would
sure
love
you
to.
will.
I would love to.
We'll reach out closer to the election. I'm trying to think about maybe having a whole panel of
That would
people.
that would be
I know some
fun.
liberals. I know some, and they're nice. These are good
Right,
people
right,
that can
right.
talk. We're not going to fight. And
Nobody's
and stuff
gonna cut anybody.
Yeah, no. So
Nobody's gonna cut a bitch.
thank you, thank you, MC
Thank
Lisa.
you for having me.
Great first episode for us.
Thank
you.
So much fun.
Yes.
I look.
Thank you, everybody.
I look forward to it, Robin.
Next time, I hope I can get some more of these questions on here.
Yeah, we'll get a hang of it. It's tough. I know. But Robin, we will go back to the drawing
Thanks,
board.
Robin.
Yes, thank you guys for being here.
Oh,
Lisa,
thank
I'm
you.
so excited that you're the new co-host. This is going to go great.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
Now I just
And-
want.
Good job, Lisa.
Now I just.
And MC, thank you. You've been a
problem.
huge
You-
contributor tonight.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Now I want to read my numbers and say goodbye. My numbers are important to all of us. The YWCA, it is 716-433-6716. It's a 24-hour helpline. And if you're a survivor of sexual abuse, if you're currently being abused, if you're don't know what to do and you need some help, they're there. The YWCA is incredible because they'll do counseling for you while you're at home. You don't even have to get off your couch. They have advocates that will bring you to the police station. They have everything you could need. It's free. And it's 716-433-6716. It's on the screen. RAIN, RAINN, 1-800-656-4673. Another confidential line. It's 24 hours. It's more of a nationwide, but it's also for survivors of sexual abuse. Give them a call if you were abused as a child, if you're being abused now, whatever's happening, please. There's always someone there to listen. There's always someone there to help. And please remember those numbers. Also, we have the mental health, of course, part, depression and suicide, 1-800-662-4357. And the numbers are up there. Please remember, if you're depressed, you're suicidal, there's always someone there. And there's someone at the other end of the line that will be glad to help you. And please just remember you're not alone. And we'll be back next week. Sean Levick's going to be with us. And we have a lot of good guests coming up. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on Citizens United.
See you next week.